Hello, everyone. We are here today with the amazing director of Power Ghost Book 2 with the upcoming episode 6 of the final season. This is a long awaited, I know a lot of the fans are excited for this. How are you, Sharon?
Great. Thank you for having me, Shayna.
I'm super excited. As you know, I am a huge fan of the Power universe.
You are a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm a
You
huge
are. You know everything, girl.
I am. And there's so many people that are, sad that it's coming to an end. Like we were like, what is going on? So I was like, I need to get the exclusive for these people on a Monday night, getting ready for the episode premiering on Friday. This is gonna be like epic. So first and foremost, I like to start, at the roots and foundations. Who made you the amazing queen you are today? Who started, early in your life with inspiring you to get into directing, to get into film, and how was your journey starting in your early life? Let us know. And who, in your own words, is Sharon Lewis?
All of those questions. Well, let's start with who's Sharon Lewis.
Yeah, let's start there.
So, who's Sharon Lewis? I would say Jamaican, Trini, Canadian artist, because that's sort of, I think the word artist kind of encompasses all of what I do, which is write and direct. And I used to act, not anymore, but I see the world as an artist. And so that's what I would say, an artist activist, because I started out in political theater and doing theater of the oppressed, and then I moved from theater of the oppressed into acting, and then from acting into film and TV. And so, yeah, I would say, and I've published books, and had a play published, and so yeah, I think artist is who I am. But you know what question I love that you asked is who inspired me and who's my person.
Yeah.
And I haven't thought about this in a long time, but it's my grandma.
Oh,
My grandmother used to take me to Jamaica. I was born here in Toronto, take me to Jamaica every summer. And I think it's because of her I know who I am.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like, even though I'm Jamaican and Trini, I spent a lot of my like younger years in Jamaica. And so I got a sense of not just being Jamaican, but also what it meant to be abroad and being foreign, and the privilege that I had there and what I could do to help and learn from my community. Anyway, so that informed the work that I did later, which is like this documentary about being queer and Christian, and a lot of that taking place in Jamaica.
yeah.
So yeah, I would see Grandma Brooks.
Oh, wow, I love that. I love that it's like a matriarch, that kind of, because so much of that in the Caribbean culture, like things that are passed down from generation to generation, and to hear that she inspired you in your early life, I think that's something that a lot of Caribbean people can relate to.
Agreed.
And I love that your work has been inspired, over the years by your roots and foundations, and being a positive voice for change and acceptance, and that's so important.
Mm.
I'm so excited because, a lot of filmmakers, this is my filmmakers series. So I have, you're the second one in the series. And leading up to TIFF, so I'm super excited, and you're such a major force in the industry. So I want to talk about your journey, I guess, from going from acting to directing. Was that an easy transition? And then we'll jump right into to Ghost.
Yeah, so I think I was a little spoiled with acting because I was working in political theater, working, around community activist issues like AIDS and homelessness and that. And I got asked to be in this Caribbean play. And so I went in the Caribbean play, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool being in front of the camera. Never, ever thought I would be an actor. And then I jumped right from that. I quit my job, no lie, and took some, acting lessons or whatever. And probably about 3 or 4 months later, I booked a part on a film called Rude, which is by Clement Virgo. And it was the first like above the line Black film in Canada, went to Cannes. Like, all of a sudden I'm coming out of a limo in Cannes, and you know what I mean? And I'm on a poster, and we're winning awards and I'm on all these magazines. So I was like, acting's sweet. I love this piece of acting. And so I moved to Los Angeles and I was like, I'm going to be a big Hollywood star. Like, this is amazing. And I did not work again for 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to LA and they didn't know what to do with me because I'm mixed Indian and black. They didn't quite know where to put me. They didn't care about a little artsy film that went to Cannes. They wanted to know if I could do a sitcom or, that
Mm,
was the era of sitcoms. And so I started studying directing
mm,
because I loved telling stories. And I had already directed a play in Toronto called Sisters, and it had done really well. And it was a play about these Caribbean women, kind of five best friends and their or four best friends and their daughter. And so I just started studying directing, started making short films, all of that. And then I was broke,
mm,
and CBC was holding auditions for this political debating show called Counterspin. So I came, I did that, made some money. Then I did another art show called Zed. And then I was like, no, I'm really going to take directing seriously. And so I left that piece of money on the table with Zed, and just really concentrated on my directing career and did a lot of unscripted stuff and all my shorts in between. Scraped together some money to do another short. It did really well. It got bought by HBO.
mm.
And then I did my feature. And it was after I did my feature that I got a little break. The producer on my feature was also the producer of a series called Digstown. And so then I directed Digstown and then Law and Order, Ginny and Georgia, FBI Most Wanted, Power Force, and
Yeah.
then Power Book Ghost. So
Yeah.
that's how I got to that show.
Oh my gosh, you dropped some big names there. Ginny and Georgia, Law and Order Toronto. It's a series that a lot of people love. Netflix and some massive platforms. You're on mainstream television, primetime television. These are such popular series. So how do you maintain your unique directorial voice when you're shooting, stories that you might not have written or told yourself that you decided to tell, but you kind of got in that role? How do you take that on and make it uniquely your own?
I think that's such a great question because you came with me, you shadowed with me on Law and Order, right? And Law and Order Toronto. And because I know you do your own stuff. You have your director, your writer. And so you saw firsthand, like it really is a producer's world, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were there, it really is more about what the producers want, what the producers. But I will say, if you have some good producers, which on Law and Order Toronto we did, they will allow you to bring your vision. They will allow you. I mean, this seems like such a small little thing, but in the episode that you were shadowing on, Karen Robinson, who plays a lead role on Law and Order Criminal Intent Toronto, I was like, can she nyama patty?
Yes.
How about patty? We're in Toronto. Why wouldn't she eat a patty? And so, you just kind of put in those little small things like you can. Or, oftentimes I'll be there. The episode that I'm doing now, I'm going to sneak a little coconut drop and grater cake in there. Like you
Yeah.
just try to put a little flavor and culture in. But I also think being a woman and being a Black woman and a woman of color, I will approach women differently.
Mm.
And so I try to bring as much of my life experience as I can, and then your little artistic flair. Sometimes you want to do a oneer. Sometimes you're like, oh, it'd be really cool to start on the woman and come around to this. And I would say I try to put that in as much as I can, as long as it's always of service to the story.
Service to the story. Wow, you're dropping some gems here, and I was so honored to be your shadow, your director observer. Like I learned so much from you. Like it was invaluable. The what I learned from you and seeing you in action, I was just in awe. Um,
Um,
so I know firsthand how incredibly talented and amazing you are. I look up to you as a mentor, as an icon in the industry. So and a lot of people do. So I'm excited to get into Force. But Power Ghost, sorry, not Force, but yeah, Sharon also directs Force, which we'll get to a little bit later. But I want to talk to you about first who you think is gonna die, because this is a major question. I have to ask this question. There's been some fan
You know I
predictions.
can't answer that question. You know I can't answer that question.
I put you on the spot, but I mean, there's some fan predictions. Like a lot of people are saying Zion, Diana L, Rebecca Weston, Kamal Tate, Detective Carter, Effie, like Davis McLean. We know someone is gonna die.
I can't tell you.
I want the
I
people
can't
to
tell you, or
comment
then
in the
they would have
comments.
to kill me.
Yeah, they'll kill you, right?
They'll kill me. But
You're
I
gonna
will say,
be,
who do you think it is?
you know, I think it could be who they call Dirty Diana. That's the nickname she has, Dirty Diana. Online, the fans call her that because she's always up to something, and she's pregnant too. So that would be so tragic.
Hmm.
I think we would all ball tears, and for the final
Hmm.
season, maybe they're trying to make us like really, shake and tremor and just be like, why did this happen?
Who do you want to die?
Oh, I don't want anyone to die. I know that
No?
sounds no, I don't want I wouldn't mind if Davis does. Davis is like up to no good. He's like asking for trouble right now. He's like, what are you doing, Davis? You're causing problems right now. But I think it'll be interesting to see, because I know we're gonna lose someone that we love for sure. We're gonna lose a character that we love.
Oh man, I wish I could say more. You know I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. But it's I mean, tune in because you'll find out.
Yeah. I wanted to know what challenges you might have faced shooting the episode. Did you come overcome anything when you were looking at it, how to shoot it? Did you have to change on the spot? Did anything happen or come up that you can share in the process, in your creative process?
Well, can I just say this is probably not a challenge, but I was so crushed out on Method Man. I can't even begin to like. I was
Distraction.
I was like, and then I got to direct him and Mary J. Blige in the scene together, and that was just like legend, right?
Yes.
Legends. They're legends. And they have such great chemistry. Such it was so easy. I have to say that was one of the easiest scenes to direct
Mhm.
was those two. I would say one of the more challenging scenes was we were shooting down by the water. We had a big huge crane. I can't tell you what the scene was, but there's a car and there's another car, and this car was supposed to drive up. And so we shot everything else, and we had like probably 15 minutes to get the car to drive up, and the car would not start.
Oh
The
my god.
car would not, like, that was it. The car was not going to move. So
Whoa.
in the last minute, I had to completely change my shot and rethink how I was going to do that scene. But I mean, it was just one of those flukes. And because we were out by the water, far away, we had no time to go get another car. Yeah. So that's one of the
That is a challenge for
that
sure.
was a
Like
challenge.
that's
Especially,
probably a major part of the scene. The car won't drive in.
yes, since the whole scene was designed around that drive-in. Yeah, that was a bit of a challenge. Yeah, yeah.
That is super super interesting. What makes your episodes significant in the context of the overall series and the storylines?
I would think that at this point, at episode 6, so the way the series kind of works is that, or episodic TV works, you sort of laying the seeds in the first, episodes. I would say in episode 6, which is why I think they are putting it up after the break, has a lot of fruition of those seeds.
Okay.
So everything that you sort of saw laying down, we're now starting to see move along.
Yeah, it's intense. Like the trailer I played on the intro here for everybody, it's
Yeah.
intense, and like people are like, "Oh my gosh," holding their breath, waiting to see. Like it seems like in a culmination, and for you to have, the series mid-series premiere episode, it means something's going down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something big is going down, because to have that break, like we've been all like, oh my gosh, why give us this break? But then it's gonna be a like the premiere, mid-season premiere, finale. Those are typically the epic episodes.
Yeah, that's true, Shayna. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't think about it like that, but you're absolutely right. I think, yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. And I want to talk about some of your other projects coming up, moving forward. Like, what else can we see premiering for your directing work coming up on top? You said you mentioned Law and Order Toronto. Any other things that we should be looking out for? What are you doing next?
Yeah, well, I finished a Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I did that this year. Huge, huge, huge. Like, oh man, to deal with Uhura, like, come on,
Ooh,
like legend again.
yeah.
So that was pretty incredible, and that will air next year. I just finished another episode of, well, two episodes of Ginny and Georgia, which will also premiere next year. And I'm going off to do another Chicago Med and another FBI Most Wanted, and I'm heading out to Vancouver after this to go do a new show in its second season called Allegiance, which is a Canadian show actually, which has a South Asian lead. And so I really wanted to do that. I love when there are female protagonists of color. Um, that is my passion. I think that's why I love doing Power as
Mhm.
well, because I do a lot of the cop shows, which are usually on that side of the world. But what I love about the Power universe and the 50 Cent universe is that we actually get to see our people and why they are motivated to do the things that they do. They're not bad people, right? They're complicated. They're leading complicated lives. They're being pressured in certain ways. You can see why they're making the moves that they're making. And I have to say the Power universe gives us that. I feel like they give us real people. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah, real people, real stories, real lives. And you
Mhm.
just get so invested in the characters, like super invested in the characters. Just seeing how things have played out. Plus, it's a whole universe, so all the different series, tie in with each other, and it's like whoa, like it's a world that you can
And,
really dive
and
into.
Michael Rainey, who plays Tariq, I mean, we're seeing him grow up really on screen, right? Basically seeing, and he's a yardie.
I
Did you know?
know with all the
And they,
Jamaicans.
and they have a restaurant in Jamaica.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was fun. He was fun to work with on set. Him and Gianni, um, we did a really cool scene. Like I can't wait for fans to see this scene with those two.
Yeah.
That the actors themselves were really excited about, and I was really excited about. There's a scene with them where you haven't really seen that side of Tariq before.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting. Yes. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. I want to talk to you about destiny because I ask each and every one of my guests this question,
yeah.
and everyone has a different perspective on it. So it's really interesting to hear, different sides of the view on destiny. What are your thoughts on destiny? Do you believe that our destiny is pre-planned, laid out, written in the stars before we come into this human experience, or do you feel like we're in full control of our own destiny?
Man, you come with the good questions. Come with the good questions. Um, I think it's both. And here's why I think it's both. I think that there's a fate that our higher power, higher good universe has for us that always leads to good. But when we take actions,
Mm,
that may not lead to that fated position that our higher power has. So our higher power readjusts, So
mm,
our fate gets readjusted according to our own actions. And I think we can't get to that higher purpose, higher service place unless we take actions.
okay.
So we have to, you can't just lay down and hope that it's going to happen, but we have to take the actions. But I do think that, that what I call my higher power, higher universe has a ultimate creative expression place for me to be, but
Mm,
I don't always go there. So it's got to readjust, readjust,
yeah.
readjust. If I go left or I didn't take the action, then it's readjusting, but it's always readjusting to take me towards my highest good.
Yeah. So take that destiny into your own hands and and
Mhm.
and go down the path. Whatever path you take, you might be on a detour, but some way, somehow, some choice might bring you back online.
100%. a
Right?
100%.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Another question. This one is another question I ask each and every one of my guests. This one is on time travel. If you could time travel to the past, somewhere in the present, the now, or the future, where would you go? What would you be doing? Would you be alone? Would you take someone with you?
Um, I would want to go back to when my son was born.
Oh,
Really, that time went so fast, and so much of it I was working, hustling just to make a living,
yeah.
that from the time he was like 3 to 8, I was on the road a lot. I would love to go back to that time and cuddle him up and
Mm.
just spend more time with him. That's what I would do. I'd go back to that time and enjoy it more. You're a mom too. It goes like this, and most of it you're spending your time trying to make a living, trying to survive, trying to give him a good life.
Yeah.
But I'd go back and have more fun with him, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I love that answer. That's so special, and it's so true. Like my daughter's grown, and I'm like, how did she become an adult? Like, what is happening here?
Right?
This is not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I can really relate to that. Um, so we have some questions from the fans. Shout out to all the fans who submitted their questions. You guys
Oh,
are
that's good, man.
amazing. So who is your favorite character? This is one is from Chantal. Big up yourself, Chantal. Who's your favorite character to work with in the Power universe? Because you directed Force, Ghost.
Okay, so it's tie
It's a tie.
between Method Man, who not only is gorgeous, but he's so professional. He's so good at his job. He's so willing to play around, and there was a scene with him and Tariq, and he's just so giving
Mm.
to Michael Rainey. Like you can tell that he's like he wants to take care, wants to make sure young pup is coming up right.
Yeah.
So I loved that, but also Woody, like who
Mm.
plays Kane. He is he's a phenomenal actor, and he loves to play, and he
Yeah.
loves to modulate, and he loves to do all of that. So yeah, I mean, I love them all, but that I had like little special moments with those
I
two
feel like
for
there's
sure.
gonna be a showdown between those two because now they have the same woman. They're messing with the same. Ooh, drama, drama going down. When Kane finds out about this,
Who do you choose for Kane? What team are you on?
I like him and Effie together.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I like
Interesting.
him
So
and
you're
Effie
team
together.
Effie.
Even though Effie is like in love with Tariq, which is like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. It's like I don't know. It just seems like drama, but I do like them together. I like them on screen together. And Norma, I don't know. I don't know. I
Don't
prefer.
mess with Effie.
I'm team.
Don't mess with Effie.
Yeah, she's cooking something for sure. She's cooking something this the next half of the season.
Look at Shayna. She's like, what's going
I'm
on?
like I'm looking at your eyes.
I know. I'm like,
The next question from the fans. This one is from Ryan269. He's asking the best advice. What's the best advice you've ever received?
no is just another way of saying yes to something else.
Mm,
That is definitely it, because coming up as an actor and as a director, and even now, I still get a lot of no's. And I think I did. At one point when I was trying to do my feature film, Brown Girl Begins, 15 years it took me to do that film.
wow.
So I got a lot of no's. And I remember my mentor at Women in the Director's Chair, Kari Skoglund, I remember complaining to her and like, oh, I don't think I'll ever get this film made, blah, 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 blah. And she said, why? And I said, oh, because Telefilm, which is a funder, said no. And she literally started laughing. And she was like, so because they said no, you're not going to make your film?
Mm,
And it never occurred to me
mm,
to keep going. I was just like, well, they're the only funder. They said no. So no just means there's a yes somewhere else is really what I have to remind myself and keep remembering in everything, right?
yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm taking that one. I'm gonna remember that advice forever, Sharon. Like that's
Yeah.
so important, I think, for all artists, all creatives, all filmmakers to
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, the don't no is not a no. It's another way. There's another way. Every door that might close, there's a window that might fly open.
100%. And I think it's hard to remember that when we're getting consistent no's, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Such a good one. And okay, this is another question. This one is from Lady Shine. Lady Shine. That's a cool name. Will
Right.
you be directing another episode of Power Force? And will Tariq's character make a crossover into upcoming season 3? I've seen this online a lot. A lot of people are wondering, like, is Tariq going to be in the season 3 Force? And do you have any scoop on that? And will you be directing a Force episode?
Lady Shy, I can't answer that.
Lady
I
Shine.
can't answer crossover business. You can't tell me anything. At this point, no, there are no plans for me to direct Power Ghost.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I can say.
No plans as of yet.
As of yet.
Um,
Exactly. As of yet.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
But
my.
I love fan questions, and it's awesome that y'all are asking and watching. And I mean, I'm really sad and shocked that it's coming to an end. No?
Yeah, we all. I think we all are, and I think that's why people are grasping at anything, any little thing. Like, are we going to see Tariq? Like, is this can't be the end for it? And because the universes are all connected, all the characters are connected. I
Yes.
see
Yeah.
why people
Yeah.
are thinking, okay, there might be a way, to spread
Yes.
see Tariq on our screens at
I
home.
feel like, I mean, I honestly have no insider knowledge, but I can't imagine such a successful show not having some kind of life afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so interesting. Thank you so much, Sharon. And do you have any shout outs, any people you want to big up? I love to do a little wrap up with shout outs. Anyone you want to just say thanks to or
Yeah, I'm going to give you a shout out
oh,
because Shayna, honestly, doing what you do, hustling like you do, and running this radio station and having this is so important. And I know it's not like you're getting rich. Do you know what I mean? Like you're really putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And
yeah.
I think giving a platform to people like me, but platform to musicians, a platform and a space where we get to talk about our work, it's a big deal. So shout out to Shayna.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sharon.
yeah, for real. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, it's been an honor, honestly, to get to know you over this past year and just see you and be inspired by you and everything you do, and let people know where they can find you on social media so that they can, see all the amazing things you're doing.
Yes, at the Sharon Lewis on Instagram.
All right.
That's me. Come check me.
Come check her out on
Yeah.
Insta. Stay up to date with everything Sharon Lewis. All right, so this kind of wraps it up. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone who's watching this online. Big up to all my subscribers. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate all the love, all the support, all the DMs. I definitely read all of them. And shout out to you, Sharon. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy, busy schedule to speak with us about the
Thank you,
new
Shayna. And
season.
I'm so curious to hear what people are going to think about 406. So please,
Yeah.
like, DM me, post it, whatever on my Insta. I'm very curious to see what y'all think. And were you right? Were you
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'll be right. I think I'll be
Yeah.
right.
All right. Blessings, one love.
Blessings. One love, Sharon. Take care.
Bye.
Shayna McCullough signing out with Sharon Lewis.